Hey guys, it is Tuesday, and so far I have edited one video, got it uploaded, filmed 2 of my planner videos, washed the washer. No, wait, go backwards. I washed 2 loads of dog things. Noah swapped them. Well, the first load I put in the washer. The second load Noah put into the washer and folded the first load. And now I'm washing the washer. And I'm about to write down the mini plan on my little board here. And I'm going to share the menu plan with you guys while I do it. But I thought I would just tell you a little bit about what I'm doing. Today I'm going to clean the refrigerator, at least the top part of the refrigerator, the inside. And I've got to do the dishes. And we're having meatloaf for supper, but if you remember a little bit back, I did meatloaf and put it in the freezer. So I'm not going to be able to show you how I make my meatloaf because I've already done it. But I don't know what the sides are going to be yet, so I've got to figure that out. So I may or may not be cooking with you guys, but I will be cleaning with you guys today for part of the stuff. But there's something else that I want to do that I said I'm going to do for quite a while. I've been looking at my Heloise books, or maybe it's Eloise, but it's got an H on the front, so I say Heloise. I don't know. Anyway, I've been looking at those, and there's some tips that are for the kitchen. And since we're going to be in the kitchen, why not just share those with you today? I'm having an eczema flare, so you will see gloves on my hands most of the time, which is good and bad, because when I'm having an eczema flare, I wear my gloves. It keeps the chemicals off of my fingers, off of my hands, but my hands get hot and it makes them hurt. But that's okay. It's temporary. That part is. And if I got the chemicals on my hands, it would irritate worse. So just a little something I'm going to tell you while I'm here. So let me go ahead and get the camera situated so we can get down here to start looking at the menu plan for the month of August. Okay, so y'all are going to be looking at this upside down. That's okay. And I'm not going to be wearing my gloves right now because I'm not really going to be getting the chemical on my fingers. That's my antibacterial stuff. And I have washed this. It came with the this planner, board, I don't know, organizer. It came with it. I have washed it in the washer and it worked out just fine, no problems. I also took, and I don't know if I told y'all this or not last time, but on the little thing that goes with this little planner that holds the markers, we stuck a little command strip with, well, a little command hook to hang this on, so it would be easier to have this up there. I only erase it once a month, so quite honestly I don't even need this up there, but whenever we first put it up there, we decided to just keep it up there with it because it has a little little thing, and we put this little command strip on there, right there, if it'll focus. Can you focus? There we go. We put that on there and it worked out great on the side of it. So just to let you know, in case you wanted to know. And I got this off Amazon, so I'm going to try to use the yellow this time. I don't know why, but I haven't used it yet, so I'm going to use it. I've got something on there. So this month we did not plan for weekends. We didn't put anything down for weekends. And this is the first, and we're going to have meatloaf. So there's that. We didn't do weekends because we have found that a lot of times we're not using whatever it is we have on weekends because we haven't been home a lot. So I don't know. We'll see what we're going to do about that. Maybe have some quick meals for weekends or something. Or, I don't know. We'll do something. We'll figure it out. But for August, it's going to be like a test month or whatever for now. Alright. Wednesday, we're having chicken bacon ranch pasta. I don't know why I don't just say, that is not how you spell chicken bacon. I don't know what I'm doing. But, I don't know why I don't just say chicken Alfredo or chicken and ranch Alfredo or something. I don't know. It's called chicken bacon ranch is what I've always called it. It's what a lot of people call it. I'm going to keep that out. And the washer is still actually washing. Okay. And then on Thursday we're having black-eyed peas and fries. So I'm putting peas and taters. And Friday we have nothing because Jeff is off work. We don't know what we're doing, and it's considered a weekend type situation. And then on the next week he'll be changing shifts too. So it smells like somebody's burning something or something's burning. It's very strong smelling. Let me figure out what that might be. Maybe it's a neighbor. Okay, I don't see anything outside, and like it's not in my yard or anything like that, and it smells like somebody's burning leaves or something, not like a house or something, because I do know how it smells whenever a house burns, because Jeff and I used to be volunteer fire peoples. So yeah, I kind of know what that smells like, but it's nothing like that. It was just probably somebody burning leaves or limbs or something, because we're having a very difficult time with the city picking up our limbs and debris from like things like that, and I don't know why. There's been a lot of people complaining, but for some reason, I don't know if it's like manpower shortage or if it's truck shortage, or if it's just another thing going wrong in this city, because there's a lot of things going wrong in this city. But let me just get off that subject and keep going with my menu plan. Okay, so on the 7th we're having Hoppin' John soup. It's something Noah has requested, and we're having the peas on that day, so I'll make enough that I can make that. But what I will do, since it's so many days, I will freeze the peas. So whenever it's time to make the Hoppin' John soup, they won't be bad. And then on this day, we'll be doing leftovers of the Hoppin' John soup, because we always seem to. And then we'll have chili, or I may just do the chili on this day and just do leftovers on Wednesday. We'll see. And then we're having hot dogs for... No, we won't do that. We won't do the leftovers on this day, because we're going to have the hot chili dogs. I remember now what we chose. And then on this Friday, we're going to have that pasta bake that I created the sauce for, with the mushrooms and olives. Noah requested that again, and nobody complained. And so we're going to go down here. And do these. We're having spaghetti on this day, potato soup, because Noah requested that. I asked him last night, right before we started to eat supper, what he wanted, and he had lots of things because he was hungry. Pork tenderloin. Thankfully, food was almost done. Oh no, we were sitting down to eat then. Okay. So then the pork tenderloin, and then tacos, and we're gonna have that frozen fish that's in the freezer, that Gorton's already made stuff. All right, that's what Jeff said he wanted. Okay, so then Noah wanted manwich again after we had it last night, so we put that on there. I didn't want it too close to the same, you know, week, so I put it a few weeks later. Beef tips, grilled chicken, leftovers, because I'm sure we'll have some leftovers. If we don't, we'll do like a fend for yourself of some sort. And then pizza, because Noah wanted pizza of some sort. He didn't care what kind. 27, 28, 29, 30, and 31. The last 5 days. Yeah, I can count sometimes. Alright, the 28th is London broil. We have one in the freezer, so I will cook that. Allie, the boy's not home. It's okay. She's whining because Noah's not here. He went to go get a part for his Jeep. Alright, London broil, and then tacos again, and then grilled chicken again. I don't know how I did this on 2 Thursdays in a row, but we don't care. It doesn't matter to us. And then barbecue baked potatoes. We've been saying we're going to have that quite a few times, and we have not done it. We have the barbecue already ready in the freezer. We just have not done that. So, that's our menu plan for the week. I'll put it up on the refrigerator and for the month, not the week. This is more than a week. I'll show you what it looks like, or I could just show you in the planner. If you ever do watch my planner videos and you wonder what I use the monthly for, there it is. I do use it for other things too, but that's how I start using it. So, there's that. And I will show you on this as well. Well, I could just close that up, and I needed to put that in there. Okay. That's my list of meats that I have in the freezer, which I really need to rewrite because I've been using that one for months. But let me put this on the freezer, and I'll be right back. Okay, so the yellow you really can't see very well. So I'm not loving that. I can see it. I'm going to leave it for this month, but I probably won't use the yellow ones again. The pink and blue you can see really good, but the yellow is not that great. I mean, you can see it, but it's just not that great. So there we go. There's that. Okay, so before I go back over there where it's super loud because of the washer, I want to go ahead and tell you some of this. Now, she does have one book that's all about kitchen hints. It's that one. I do have it as well, but this one has all kinds of stuff in it, and it's a very old book. This one is from 1964. That's when it was printed. This one, this is the 9th printing though. I think it started in 1962, but I'm not sure. But she has lots of different things, and the first chapter, I guess, is the kitchen's corner, or kitchen corner. And she's telling you just ways that you can save on your grocery bill. And one of the first things she says is to go alone, to go grocery shopping alone. That way you won't buy extra, or your friend won't remind you of specials, or your spouse won't be saying, oh, let's get this, or your children won't ask for something like that. That's all fine and good. That's great if it works for some people, but for me, it works better if I go with Jeff, because I will discuss something and it will help me to decide, should I really get this? And probably, I would say half the time, I won't buy something that I might have purchased if I was by myself. I will talk myself out of it by talking to him, because it just works better that way for me. Now, you can choose how it works better for you. So that's what I do. And then she goes down to telling you how you should purchase in the store. The first thing you should be doing is buying your meat. Now, she says buy a week's supply at a time. It says buy a week's supply at a time, because if you don't, you will find that each time you go for meat, you will pick up several other things that you could have done without. So she's saying buy a week's worth at a time. We don't do that. You guys know I don't do that. I buy big family packs, even though we don't have a big family, and I divide it up. Now, I'm pretty sure that this would work great for some people, like people who live in apartments like Selena. They buy a week at a time because they don't have storage for freezing things like I do. So they buy enough to last each week. That works great for some people, but it doesn't work great for everyone. So what she's saying is, instead of going buying your meat every day, just buy all at one time, your weekly grocery shop, and only go grocery shopping one time. And then it says after buying your meat, buy your dairy products. So she has a way she buys things. She buys her meat, and then she buys her dairy. And she says always be extravagant with eggs, oleo, and cheese. Now, oleo is the same thing as margarine, from what I understand. Ziggy, what is oleo?
Oleo is usually defined as a dish of many ingredients.
Ziggy, give me the definitions for O-L-E-O.
Oleo is usually defined as margarine, a butter-like product.
That's right, margarine.
Vegetable oils,
or margarine, as she says.
animal fats, and emulsified, usually with water or milk.
Yeah. I thought I was right, but I wanted to make sure. But she was spelling O-L-I-O, not O-L-E-O, and there is a difference. So she says to buy the meat, and I would say butter, and cheese next. And she says these are used for all meals and are wonderful food stretchers. Try using oleo for frying. Sometimes it's cheaper than shortening, or margarine for frying. Which, if you really look at the ingredients in margarine, there's oil, like some sort of cooking oil in it. It may be canola, it may be, you can possibly get olive oil kind, but I'm not sure. It's some kind of seed or grain oil in oleo. So it's really just oil and flavorings, if you really look at it. And other things, emulsifiers, something's on my shirt. Okay, so and never run out of potatoes is her next tip. They can be cooked many ways and taste good with anything. I agree with that fully. If it is agreed that $30 a week should be your allowance, y'all know $30 a week ain't getting us nowhere nowadays. For groceries, be sure it's really spent for food. And you know this is the 60s. Cigarettes, school supplies, aspirin, beer, and cough syrup are not food. Okay. So in other words, your grocery budget is for your groceries, and that's it. You don't buy anything else. Your laundry budget is for your cleaning supplies. You have a different budget for that. If it's not food, you don't buy it with your food money. Okay, and it says to test this, go into the store and buy nothing except food and check out. Then go back in the store and buy those other things. You will find that the real demon in that basket is not what you eat. If you have a freezer, buy pies, meats, vegetables, and anything that is on sale. This is the way to save on your budget. When day-old bread is on sale, buy this too and freeze it. Okay, here's the situation. My husband does not like bread from the freezer. The only bread he will eat from the freezer is like the garlic bread or some sort of bread that you take out and bake, like a biscuit that's been frozen before you cook it, or rolls that have been frozen before you cook it. And it has to be something that's going to be a hot bread most of the time, or he doesn't want it. He will not, like sandwich bread, you don't take it out of the freezer and give it to him, he does not like it. And my feelings about that is, yes, it would save money if we bought day-old bread. It would save money if we bought things on sale and put them in the freezer. Those things don't bother me. They don't bother Noah. They didn't bother Selena. She didn't eat a whole lot of bread. But Jeff works very hard and he should get what he wants, so we don't buy that and store it for later for him to eat. So it's just not something we do, but it is a good thing to do that. It's much cheaper. In a year's time, you probably will save enough money for groceries to pay for your freezer, or on groceries to pay for your freezer. So she's telling you how to buy groceries, and then she teaches you how to keep weevils at bay, which I have told y'all this. You put things like flour and cornmeal and stuff like that in the freezer. Let's see, how long does she say? She doesn't say how long to keep them in the freezer. She doesn't say how long. She also says you can put bay leaves in your flowers and things to keep weevils at bay. So I guess putting bay leaves around in your pantry would be a great thing to do. She said it's actually worked for her, and they're cheap. Let's see. And another lady says, because some of this stuff is things that someone has written into her, people have written into her. So the worst thing to draw weevils is cornmeal. Even if you buy from a trusted store, it could have weevils in it. Because the weevils don't come from the store, they come from wherever that they're packaged and things like that. I mean, they can come from the store, but there's eggs in these things, and yes, we eat them, but we don't know it. We eat them all the time. We're always eating things we don't know we're eating, and it's fine. Don't think about it. It's okay. But if you have them in your house, I know from experience, if you have weevils, because I didn't know what weevils were, like, I didn't know they could get into your store-bought flour, stuff like that, when I was younger. We got weevils, and I was freaking out because there were bugs in the flour. Well, there are ways to control it. So, it says another way to control them is to put your staples into fruit jars or well-sealed jars. You can also vacuum seal them and things like that. So that's all I'm going to talk about from Heloise today. I don't know how often I'm going to do this, but I'm going to try to start every once in a while talking about the things that she has in there. So what I'm going to do next is clean that refrigerator. I have not cleaned it thoroughly in a couple of months. It's been a little while, but we don't spill a lot in our refrigerator, and we don't like make messes in our refrigerator. Like when the kids were younger, messes were made a lot more often, and the way we have it organized, I know what's in there, and I do take things out. And also the process of how we do our leftovers, we don't usually have gross things in there, but it's every few months I will go in and do a real good wipe out, clean it, look in it, see what's in there. If there's anything that's not good, take it out, all that stuff. And I'm gonna do that today with you guys, and then I'm gonna do the dishes, or I might do it in opposite order, but I want to wait for that washing machine to finish first, so I will be back. For you, it'll be a second. For me, it'll be, I don't know how long it'll take for the washing machine to finish, but a few minutes. Okay, so I don't really know how to get a really good angle for doing this, but I'm hoping y'all are going to be able to see what I'm doing, at least, maybe. I don't know. If I find that when I'm editing that it's like just too far away and y'all really can't see, I may speed through this and just let y'all listen to music. I don't know, but I always try to start at the top and go down with whatever I'm cleaning, no matter what it is, because if you start at the top and you go down, then whatever is dirty is going to fall from the top and go down, and then the very bottom part will be the last thing you have to clean. You don't have to re-clean. Ask me how I know these things. But we do have some leftovers in here. Not much, but just a little bit from last night and I want to say the night before, but not much. What really gets on my nerves is Jeff puts his cup up here, and then there's always tea up there. I know he wants to keep his cup so he doesn't have to get a new one every day, but why? He doesn't have to do that, you know? But he does what he wants and it's fine. But there's always tea there. It's not much, but I don't like it. So all I'm going to do is just spray my cloth because I don't want to spray directly in there. Even though this is supposed to be food safe, whatever, I don't like to spray directly in my refrigerator. But the cup really, I mean, if it fit in that area better, I wouldn't mind. But it doesn't really fit. The top shelf is always the hardest for me because I'm short. But I get it done. And a lot of the times, I don't take anything out of this because those things, I'm the only one that uses, and nobody else is messing with it, so I know whether or not something has fallen out or not. So I don't worry about it much. So there's that. These two things need to be eaten. They're not out of date, nowhere near out of date, but they just need to leave the house. Maybe there'll be a snack later for me or something. I don't know. We used to put our leftovers down here, but whenever we change things up, so this needs to leave the house too. I'm going to figure out something I can use that for very soon. But anyway, whenever we, that's supposed to be up there. I put it in the wrong place. It was me. When we put the fruits and vegetables up here to try to keep them from freezing, FYI, some things still freeze. Not much, but a little bit. We had to change our leftover area just because of that. But it's fine. It worked out. It'll all be alright. I'm going to go ahead and move these things. And this is not Chobani creamer. This is my own creamer that I make. But I'm still using this little container because it works out really well. And it's plastic. This is the shelf that gets the worst. Because of the milk and the tea. Because of those two things. That's why. This buttermilk is frozen because that's what's happening in the back. Don't know why, but it does. I keep hiding my cleaner from myself. I would go ahead and take this stuff out since it's like the same level as this one, but I'm not going to because of not having space behind me. I know it's not closed. I will close it as soon as I get this milk and stuff back for a couple minutes. I may have to spray that right there because I think there's been some milk. Get a little extra help. I can't help it. I shouldn't say I hate it. I don't hate it. I don't like it. I don't prefer it. Allie's over there goofing. What is it, Allie? You don't like the noise either? Alright. I haven't long taken these things out and wiped them out before we got new fresh fruits and vegetables. So I'm not going to worry about that today. The cucumbers. We just put things in where they fit because it doesn't work any other way because of the way that this thing freezes everything. And I'm not putting the almond milk back because it's too old. And I just don't need to have it anymore. That's the only half and half. I'm doing things crazy. I was thinking about the heavy whipping cream. I have 2 of those. Well, I have 1 and part of one. And I was trying to get that put in properly. Alright, we have milk. It's just out in the other refrigerator. So we got to get it out. This goes up here. Because it's a fruit. Oh, this goes back up here too. That's supposed to be something to keep your vegetables fresh, but since they're not in a drawer by themselves, I don't know if it works anymore, but it did work before. And we do have margarine or oleo. The first thing is water, then it's soybean oil, maltodextrin, palm oil, salt, less than 2% of palm kernel oil, monoglycerides, citric acid, preservatives, which are potassium sorbate, sodium benzoate, and calcium disodium, EDTA, natural flavor, vitamin A, palmitate, and beta carotene for color. I don't like this stuff. I mean, I would rather just use regular butter, but we have it. Okay. So, I'm going to get this one cleaned, and then I'm going to let this be closed for a little bit because it's been open for a bit, and I don't like my refrigerator to stay open for a long time. And I have the 3 drawers left. So, and the doors. Drawers and doors. That's what I have left. And eggs. Some eggs. So we don't have a lot in our refrigerator. We don't keep a lot in here because, I mean, we've got what we need. Those are partially frozen. Goodness gracious. Everything is frozen in this thing. Those 2 on top of each other. Put that there, and I'm going to close it for a bit, and then I'll get to the other things in a minute. The doors and the drawers. We do still get a lot of fingerprints, even though we're all adults. I'm going to scoot y'all around this way a little bit. I finished cleaning up my washer, washing my washer, because you still have to, or I still, after I clean it with the cleaner, with this stuff right here, the glisten, this is what I use. I get it from Lowe's. Yeah, it's got glare. I get it from Lowe's, and this will do your wash machine 3 times, and it costs like $5. The tabs are like, I think $8 or $12. I don't remember anymore, but you don't get Let's just put it that way. That way is cheaper and it works just as well. Let me just say that. So I'll be right back, but for you it won't be but a second, but it'll be a few minutes for me because I want that to cool back down real good. Okay, so it's been a little while and I'm back. For you it's been just seconds, or a second or something. So we're gonna go ahead and do these 3 drawers. This one is our cheese. This one is like our lunch meat and like pepperoni and stuff like that. And this one is for anything that needs to be cooked, like sausage or bacon, or whenever we are thawing meat. That's all we use that drawer for now. So I'm going to take everything out of here. Like I said, this is lunch meat, stuff like that, because stuff like that is yummy. So I'm just going to go ahead and spray into this though. I don't spray into the others. Now if I was doing like a super deep clean, I would take these out, but I'm not doing that. What in the world? Things get stuck in this little groove and it's so annoying. It's strawberry stuff, it looks like, because it's very hard to get it out. Okay, but yeah, I just do a quick wipe because we don't like, if we spill something in here, most of the time it gets cleaned up immediately because I get grossed out. Now if somebody else doesn't catch it, I usually catch it, but I'll come behind them and clean it up if they don't see it. And sometimes Noah will be in here in the middle of the night making himself a sandwich and he doesn't turn on many lights, so he might, you know, not close the sandwich meat quite as well and the juices come out, and that's okay. It's not a big deal, but at least it's contained in the meat drawer. I do need, there's something there that I see it. Okay, why can't I take this out? I don't take them out that often. I know it comes out. I've taken it out before, but it's been a while. There's just something right there that I need to get out. I don't know what it is. I'll get it. Guess I need to clean the front of this, huh? I'm gonna grab a butter knife to help me get whatever that is. Well, that was easy. I don't know what it was, but it came right up then and I could wipe it. I don't know how to get these things out, I guess. I thought I'd done it before. Maybe Jeff always does that part. But I thought I had taken them out. Or maybe you can't. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Why am I wasting our time? I don't know. Okay. Put these things back. The ham and the pepperoni and the bologna and the ham and the turkey. And then got the famous cheese drawer with all the cheese. We eat a lot of cheese. I really did not realize we ate so much cheese until we started having a dedicated drawer. Whenever we had to have a dedicated drawer, that's when it got weird for me. I was like, wait a minute, why do we have so much? Why do we eat so much? We like a lot of different kinds is what it is. And some of it is like for sweet things, some of it's for sweet or savory things. It's just according. Mostly it's for savory. Mostly it's for sandwiches and stuff like that. Okay. I do need to figure out some other way to do it, I think. Because I have actually thought about swapping the cheese drawer to the bottom one, but then I'm afraid it would allow us to buy even more. But we don't waste it. It does not get wasted. It doesn't go bad. It's just something we like. So we have lots of it. I guess it's better than junk food. I would rather say I have a lot of cheese than a lot of junk. I don't like having these bits of stuff in there. But we do, like, we shred our own cheese now. We used to have a lot of cheese, like the bags of cheese. I'm going to have to get Jeff. Maybe you have to take this whole thing out. Because I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to put the cheese back now. We don't really eat the Velveeta very much. I'm going to put it all the way in the back. I guess I'm changing up how I'm doing it. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not going to change up how I'm doing it. I don't like that. Put that back over there. That's better. This one has been open. It's a cheddar. It needs to be eaten first. Same with this pepper jack. Those two need to be eaten before the other blocks are opened. The other blocks of the same thing, that is. Then we have all the sliced cheese. And then another. That's the only shredded cheese we buy is the Parmesan. There's that. So, move this over. I wonder. That was easy. I knew I wanted to get down here because everything from up there falls down here. I don't know if y'all can see down here. Let me tilt y'all down just a little bit. Hi. I know y'all can't see in here. There's even hair down there. Nice and cool down there. Alright, well I've got this out. I'm going to go ahead and spray it and clean it up. We don't usually have spills in this bottom drawer or anything because, like, with our meat that we're thawing, we have that tray under it. I think Noah's home. He had a few places he had to go. Okay. Shh, calm down. All right. Put that back in. Hopefully I can get the drawer to go back in. Hush. Noah.
Yeah?
I'm gonna need your coat.
With what?
I can't put it back. I just took it out.
I was getting tailed by a policeman on the way home.
You were getting tailed by, you know you're being recorded, right? You're in front of the camera.
Oops.
Whoops. Why were you getting tailed? Now you gotta tell a story.
So he just saw me on the interstate and wanted me to pull over so bad he followed me through the neighborhood.
So you mean he thought you were gonna do something wrong? He was following the wrong Camaro for that. I can't get this back on, and I don't know how. I'm hitting things.
I'll wash my hands and try to help.
Alright. I will turn the camera off for now. Close the door. Okay. I'll be back. Okay, so he's getting him some tea. And it didn't take him but just like a second to get this thing fixed. So now that part of the refrigerator is all wiped down, cleaned up. Hey, can you go grab the milk too?
Yeah.
And now I'm going to do the doors, which the doors are not bad, but they probably have some little bit of like stuff in it. I'm just going to stick this back in here for now. But they might have like crumbs or something. So I'm going to do these, but I'm going to do one at a time so I don't forget where things go. Because I'm bad about that. I'll put it in the wrong place. And then we won't know where it's at. Like whenever I'm doing it like this, I'll just fit it wherever it does. Wherever it goes. Thank you, sir. He went to the grocery store. Alright. Put these things back. So you got your part for your car, your Jeep.
Yeah, we'll be fixing some.
You fixing to put it on?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay. Well, your daddy will be home soon, in about 20 minutes or so.
I'll wait for him then.
Why? I mean, you've taken it off. I was just telling you he's going to be home soon. There was something. Oh, he wants to, because y'all are supposed to shoot clays this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
He's talking about cleaning the guns tonight for y'all to have them all ready to go for that.
Go on.
Do what? I don't know what he said. He said words, but I don't know what they were. This one. And I know I've said it several times, but this is good pizza sauce. Came from the Dollar Tree. So I'm going to be going and getting some more of that whenever we need it. If they have it. You know, sometimes Dollar Tree doesn't have things. I did get a new cloth too. I usually grab another one whenever I'm doing some other area. I don't know why. Noah? I don't know where he's at. He's somewhere in here. all of these mustards, I feel like they need to be on the same side together, not separated, but somehow they always get separated. And I know maple syrup doesn't belong with that, but that's where it fits. He may be outside. I don't think I heard him go out the front door though, but I hear something out, but yeah. He was moving my truck back because he moved my truck to get his car out. So he did go outside. I heard my truck crank up. There was something I was going to ask you, but I don't remember what it was now.
Well.
Oh, now I remember. It always happens. He sometimes tells me to walk out of his room and walk back in, and I'll remember. Supper tonight, we're having the meatloaf. Is there any certain thing you want with it? Did you say no?
Yeah, I said nope.
How did these go in here before? I know they were all in here. Like that. Or something like that. Okay, it's screaming again. I like that warning, but I don't like that warning. I need something to put these things in. I think I'll put them in a little bowl. They're little things you get from like a restaurant or something. I'll stick them right there. Works for me. We also, during our purging, we had the glass, ceramic, whatever you call it, mainstays from Walmart butter container. And it didn't seal, and it always bothered me that it didn't seal. And sometimes whenever you try to lift it up, it almost sounded like it was going to break. So we found this one at the Dollar Tree Family Dollar. It's both together in a place where we go sometimes. And it's like $1.25, and it works so much better. No, there's not any butter in it right now because I used it all. But I like that a lot better, and it's smaller. It takes up less space. And I know a lot of people leave their butter out on their counter, but I can't do it. I just can't. Not unless it's in my butter bell. Now, if it's in my butter bell, I can do it. No problem. It doesn't bother me at all. But if it's just out, I don't like it. I'll do it. This is salted and unsalted butter, just in case you're wondering. I wonder why the water was laying down. I think it won't fit otherwise. Y'all, I'm almost done. Always make sure you wipe your seals and all that stuff down too, because those things can get mold and stuff. Mold and mildew. We need to put some more body armors in there, some Jeff's. But if you wipe the seals, if there's anything gross in there, you can, you know, usually head it off if it's starting to get, you know, gross or anything. Okay, that's done. Now I've gotten stuff into the seal of the freezer. This is the top of the freezer here, the door, and I'm not doing it today. There are some things that I probably need to take out of there, but Not that it's bad, it's just that we're not eating it. But I don't want to throw it away, so I don't know what to do with it. Maybe I'll make us eat it like I've done other things before. I won't make us eat it, but I'll go ahead and make it anyway. So we, you know, just to get it out of the house kind of thing. Alright, refrigerator's done. You're not allowed to get it dirty again, ever. Alright, so now I gotta do the dishes. Which, the dish drainer's empty, almost. It's got a couple of things that need to finish drying. But there's dishes that are dirty that need to be put in the dishwasher. There's hand wash dishes over here. And I've got to empty the dishwasher. I also don't like cutting off my head like that. But I gotta do that, so that'll be next.
We got our windows down, driving down the 405, sing along to the radio. We're gonna make it someday, nothing's gonna get in our way. We will be the biggest band in town. Round and round the world we'll go, putting on the greatest show. So make sure that you don't miss out, just be there. We're taking our shot, bring what you got. We're going all the way to the top. We will hear the sound of 1 million people screaming our names when we're backstage. We're playing loud, surfing the crowd. Everybody's jumping around. Yeah, that's the place where I wanna be. Going on stage, headline on a Saturday night. Saturday night. Gonna quit my job, never wanna have no bars. I just wanna play my rock and roll like they do on the radio. Tommy's got brand new drums, and I still have my old guitar. And John said this next song's gonna be real good, if you know what I mean. Round and round the world we'll go, putting on the greatest show. So make sure that you don't miss out, just be there. We're taking our shot, bring what you got. We're going all the way to the top. We will hear the sound of 1 million people screaming our names when we're backstage. We're playing loud, surfing the crowd. Everybody's jumping around. Yeah, that's the place where I wanna be. Going on stage, headline on a Saturday night. Saturday night. Round and round the world we'll go, putting on the greatest show. So make sure that you don't miss out, just be there. Oh, just be there. We're taking our shot, bring what you got. We're going all the way to the top. We will hear the sound of 1 million people screaming our names when we're backstage. We're playing loud, surfing the crowd. Everybody's jumping around. Yeah, that's the place where I wanna be. Going on stage, headline on a Saturday night. Saturday night.
I'm not heading for the stars, driving down the boulevard at night. Coldplay on repeat, watching people on the street as I go by. And it doesn't even matter to me where I go, I just feel I need to take a ride. Got my coffee cup to go, and I'm gonna hit the road tonight. Now my wheels in motion and my windows open with the wind blowing in my hair. I'm driving down the highway, gonna do this my way. I can feel it in the air. Here I go. Turning up the stereo in a place I didn't know till now. In a different part of town, I see new colors as the sun goes down. No, it doesn't even matter to me where I go, just feel I need to take a ride. I don't know when I'll get back, keep on going and relax tonight. Now my wheels in motion and my windows open with the wind blowing in my hair. I'm driving down the highway, gonna do this my way. I can feel it in the air. Here I go. I'm not heading for the stars, driving down this boulevard tonight. Yeah. Playing Coldplay on repeat, watching people on the street as I go by. Now my wheels in motion and my windows open with the wind blowing in my hair. I'm driving down the highway, gonna do this my way. I can feel it in the air. Here I go.
Okay, so I have the meatloaf in the oven, and since we're trying to get rid of some things, use them up food-wise, it's really weird to do that, but anyway, that's what we're doing. We're just doing this, and this wasn't just trying to get rid of it. This is just because it's what they wanted. This, we're going to put it together. Since there's lima beans already in that, we're going to put this together. Now, we do have more of each of this, but that way it'll have more of the lima beans in it. So that's going to be supper. So I don't have anything else to record for y'all because the meatloaf was already made, and all I'll do is put ketchup on it because I don't do any kind of fancy sauce for it. And that'll be right before it's done. I'll put ketchup on it and then put it back in the oven for just a few minutes. And then this just add water to. And this you just wash the can and empty it and heat it up. So that is all for my video for today. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. I do appreciate it. I think mostly it was just cleaning that thing. That's mostly what I did. And the dishes. I think that's all I did on this video. Oh, the menu plan. But now you know the menu plan. Today is August 1st. So we're on track so far. Anyway, thank you for hanging out with me. If you have any suggestions on things I could do for like weekends, what I'm thinking is we'll just have like meals that are quick to make, or like have leftover nights on weekends or something like that, because we seem to be really busy on weekends lately, and that's the meals we usually are skipping. Like, we just won't do that, we won't cook that or whatever. Let me know what you would do in those situations. Would you do the same thing I would do? Also, let me know if you like the Heloise hints. I'm not going to read everything because the book is not mine, but you know, I'll give y'all a few of her tips every once in a while that I'm learning, which I already knew this stuff that she said today, but I just wanted to compare it to the way we do things now and the way things were done in the 60s. Let me know if you were around and a housewife or whatever in the 60s and you did things that way, or if you had if your mom or someone did things that way. Or I don't know how Mama did it in the 60s, because I think my oldest sister was born in 64 or 65. But yeah, I don't know how it would be. It was 65 because she's 12 years older than me. I think that's right. I think she was born in 65. Anyways, so Mama was a housewife, I think, in 64, or it might have been 63. I don't know. Anyway, she was married like, I think, a year or so before Gladys was born, which is my oldest sister. So anyway, I could be wrong about all of that. I don't know, I wasn't here. But if you know how things were done back then, like if you lived that life, tell me what you are doing differently now compared to back then, or even in the 70s or 80s or 90s. I didn't start taking care of a home until in the 90s, and I didn't have a clue about what I was doing. No one. I know more now than I ever did. But let me know how you did things differently. And if you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe, hit the bell so you'll be notified when I upload. Share this with your friends, but most importantly, leave me a comment down below. Let me know how you're doing. And remember, don't take any wooden nickels, and be sweet.